Okay, so after adding up everything, that brings the grand total to, in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how much this car has cost me in repairs and maintenance during the course of my ownership. Now, I'm slightly nervous about doing this because this is genuinely the first time I've ever added up every single cost since owning the car. And recently I've had quite a massive bill, which has been a bit sad. But if you haven't seen my previous video, I'll just give you a brief description. So this is a 2007 Range Rover Vogue. It's got the 3.6 TDV8. I bought it in September 2022. It was on 86,500 miles when I bought it, and it's now on just over 110,000. So I've owned it for approximately 3 years and 5 months. Right, time to find out all the costs. I just want to point out, before I go through all of these invoices, pretty much all of this work was done by a garage. Now, I'm not massively practical. I can do certain jobs if they're small, but all kind of mechanical big jobs like this, I just get the garage to do it. So hopefully this gives you an idea of realistic running costs if you're not that practical like me and you have to use a garage for most of your jobs. Okay, here's a stack of all of my receipts since purchasing the car. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split them in year order, I suppose. So from when I bought the car in September 2022, I'm going to count a year as from September 2022 to the following August 2023, and then September 23 to August 24, and so on. So let's go through the costs for year one first. So on the drive home after I bought the car, one of the speakers broke. So I had to buy a new speaker and get that fitted, and that was £126. Then in November of 2022, I had quite a big bill. This was for the rear bushes and a couple of suspension arms, so the offside front bent suspension arm and the near side front suspension arm, and also the lower suspension arms, and then the labour to replace those, all of those bits. That came to 935.61. Good start here. Again in November 2022, but this was for a service. When I bought the car, I thought I'm just going to get it serviced just for peace of mind. So I had a Schedule B service, and then I also had a rear lamp replaced. So the total for that was £468.37. I then got my tyres replaced in 2023, and I'm still on the same set today. They were Pirelli Scorpions. I don't have an invoice for these, but I do have a receipt, and those 4 tyres came to £872. Next, in April 2023, I had a power steering fluid leak. So what they did is they repaired the power steering pipe and then refilled it, and that was 160 quid. Then in July 2023, I had an invoice to investigate non-start fault, and that was for 70 quid. I can't really remember what that was for. I have a feeling it was for the key not turning the ignition, but I think that was just something to do with, I think they drilled a hole in the steering column and freed it all up. So yeah, I think that was that done. Then in July 2023, I had a diagnostic test done, and that was 70 quid. Now, sometime in 2023, can't remember exactly when because I don't seem to have an invoice for it, but I had both rear arches re-welded. So I bought the new arches off eBay. I think they're about 150 quid. And then I got somebody to weld them in. So I think he charged me about 450 quid for that. So we'll say 600 quid total. Then in August 2023, I had an MOT. That was 50 quid. So that was the end of year one cost. Now on to year two costs. So from September 2023 to August 2024. So the first bill for year two came in December 2023. And this was the A service this time. But I also had a gearbox flush done. And I had the fluid replaced in the transfer case. So all of that came to £903. Now, if you look at my MOT history, on the 21st of August 2024, it failed its MOT for corrosion. So in August 2024, I had to get some work done for that. So what they did is they dropped the exhaust and the fuel tank, and then the side trim pieces, they had to weld the inner and outer seals, plus some trim clips, and then 8 hours labour to do that. and that came to £565.92. So that was it for year 2. I only had the 2 bills, but they were relatively expensive. So let's go into year 3, and this is going to be from September 2024 until August 2025. Right, so the first one I had was for a minor gearbox oil leak. So what they did is they put it up on a ramp, they tested it, and there was a small weep at the back of the gearbox pan. But they said to me it wasn't that major, so I can continue driving it. So they charged me 50 quid for that, £51. The next bill I had was November 2024, and again, this was a service. It was an interim service, so not too bad this time. It was £260.91. The next job that was done was in March 2025, and this was for an offside front drive shaft and an ABS sensor. Now, I remember when this happened because when I slowed the car right down to kind of creeping speed, the whole car would vibrate and judder. That was what that was, and that cost me £505.94. Right, the next job was in April 2025, and this was for a gearbox service. So the garage ordered a full service kit and gearbox fluid, changed all of that because the leak ended up being quite bad. So that cost me £459.12. The next fault I had was in May 2025, and this was the driver's door handle. So the cable inside it snapped. So I went to pull it one morning, and the whole thing just went floppy, and it had no resistance against it, which was quite annoying because it couldn't go into the garage for a few days. So I had to come round this passenger side, unlock it from the inside, and then go back round and get in the door. And I was a bit of a fan. But they replaced that, so that was £113.98. So the next fault was May 2025, and this time the brake fluid decided to completely empty itself over the ground. If I can find a short video clip of it, I think I videoed it, I'll just pop that in, but it just went everywhere. So I quite slowly but immediately drove it to the nearest garage and just said, can you just fix it, because I probably shouldn't have driven it that far. Fortunately, the garage was only 10 minutes away from where I was, but I remember having to absolutely stamp on the brake pedal to get it to stop, so that wasn't great. But that cost me £221.88 to get that fixed. And then the final thing for year 3 was an MOT on the 27th of August 2025, and that was 50 quid. What I'll do now is put a small total at the bottom of everything added up over precisely 3 years of ownership. But now, because I've had this car for 3 years and 5 months, I suppose I have to go through the invoices that have happened in the last 5 months. And this is where things start to go a bit wrong. So I had a massive bill in October 2025. This happened because over time, probably over a week, there was a bit of a humming noise and a vibration, I suppose humming noise, bit of a squealing noise when I increased the revs of the car, and it ended up being quite noticeable. So I took it in the garage, and this is the description on the invoice. So to strip the top half of the engine down, replace the water housing with new sensor, remove front half of the engine, replace aircon compressor with idlers. And then the parts were compressor, auto tensioner, idler pulley, another idler pulley, temperature switch, and gaskets. And then I had a regas. And that was 18 hours labour. So my total bill there was £2,606.59. So by far the biggest bill I've had so far. And that was quite sad when I went and picked that up. But hopefully I won't have anything else major for the rest of the year. I don't want to jinx that. So the next problem came in December 2025, so only a couple of months ago. And yes, it was a bill, but I was very fortunate because, so my dad and I were on the motorway on our way home, and then I had a suspension fault come up on the dash, and it said, do not exceed 30 miles an hour. And then the entire car proceeded to lower itself as we were barreling down the motorway. So obviously I slowed down. Fortunately, this happened just before a service station. So we pulled in, and the whole car was right down on its bump stops now, like bumping around. And if I think I took a picture of it. If I took a picture of it, I'll put it up on the screen. But my first thought was, oh no, the entire suspension has collapsed. And then especially after having this huge bill in October, I thought this is the last thing I need. It was annoying, and I was kind of thinking to myself, do I just get rid of the car? Do I spend however much it costs to repair the suspension? Anyway, we had a fiddle around with the suspension controls, managed to bump the car back up. The back left corner was really creaking up very, very slowly. So I Googled on a few forums, and a couple of people have had the same problem, and they said it could be a suspension sensor. So fortunately, that's what it was for me. On the way home from the service station, it was okay, although I drove it about 55, 60. But it seems to be okay on the way home. Took it to the garage. They did a factory reset and programmed the left rear height sensor. So that was what, I suppose it caused the car just to freak out, and then the entire thing dropped. Anyway, that was 160 quid, which I was absolutely chuffed with. And now my most recent bill was January 2026, and that was an A service, and that cost me £543.07. So there we have it. That is every single maintenance repair job I've had done on the car. Okay, so after adding up everything, that brings the grand total to £10,784.20. That is probably a bit more than I thought it would be. That's quite tough to take because I really love this car. So seeing that is a bit annoying. It's really tough because it hasn't changed my opinions on the car. I absolutely love the car, but it does go to show that, especially when you get garages to do pretty much all of your work for you, it does cost a lot to run. So then if we divide that by, I suppose we've got to divide it by 3.4 because I've had the car for 3 years and 5 months, equals 3,171. So on average, this car has cost me £3,171 per year to run. So in my previous video, when I said budget around £2,000 per year for repairs and maintenance, well, this video has just proven that that was probably wrong. You need to, well, I mean, I've had to spend £3,171 per year. And that is the problem with these cars. I mean, they're absolutely joyous to drive, but they can ruin your wallet. So, I mean, making this video has been really enlightening because I've never added everything up together. But I hope this has given you kind of an honest and transparent view on the ownership cost of these cars. But there is one more point I would just like to make on these. So in terms of depreciation, looking at the market today, I paid £6,750 for this. I reckon I would still get maybe 4.5, 5 grand for this car if I sold it. So for example, if you were looking for a car similar to this, a luxury car, maybe an SUV, maybe not, but you think, okay, well, I'll buy one that's slightly newer, I'll spend a little bit more on it, and then it will do me better, it will be less likely to go wrong. So for example, I'm going to select here, as you can see, an Audi A8 from 2015 with 90,000 miles on. So I click search, we'll see what comes up. So here we go, 85,500 miles. Here's one for 13. Keep going. There's one for 14. 14 again. 14,450. So you're spending around £15,000 at the lower end of the market for an Audi A8 with about the same sort of miles that I bought this car on. But what happens when this car becomes 3 years older? When you've owned it for 3 years, and of course the mileage has increased. So if we change this minimum year to 3 years prior, so minimum year 2012, we go back and we increase the mileage. Let's now increase it to 125,000 miles, or up to 125,000 miles. Now let's see how much these cars are. So ignoring the cat end car, here we go, £6,200, 6,490, and that's got 74,000 miles on. 6,495, 7,295. So they're between sort of six and a half, 7.5 grand, 8.5. So when you think about it like that, and you think, oh, I'll buy a newer car that's still really nice, I love the Audi A8 personally, still a really nice car, will probably be a bit more reliable, so I'll buy a newer one with a bit less miles. Well, over 3 years, that car could quite easily drop 6 or 7 grand in value. So when you think about it that way, this car has lost me, let's say, £2,000 in depreciation. But this Audi A8 will have lost somebody maybe £7,000 in depreciation. Yes, this car will be more unreliable. It's older. It won't have as much tech. It will be less fuel efficient. But you don't get that massive whack of depreciation like you would with a newer car. Most of the depreciation on this car has already happened. Now, what I haven't done in this video is include the cost of my insurance and the tax and my fuel. But I thought about including that, and I thought, do you know what? Tax is the same for everybody. Insurance depends on how old you are, where you live, how many miles you do. And fuel is also dependent on the kind of miles you do, how many miles you do. So those are more variable. I wanted to focus mainly on things that have broken and things that needed repairing. But I suppose the ultimate question is, has this changed my viewpoint of this car? The running costs are bad. Okay, they are bad. The car does break, but I still love it. I still love this car, and yes, I have spent quite a lot of money on it, but like I said, I haven't lost too much on depreciation. And also, if you buy another car, you buy an Audi, something will break on it. It's not going to be perfect. Yes, it will be more reliable, but you might still have some big bills. But yeah, I still love this car. I'd rather go bankrupt than sell it. No, I probably wouldn't. But yeah, it has been so good. That has cost me a little bit more than I thought it would, which has been a bit sad. But again, that's part of it. I hope that's been interesting for people that are either looking to buy one of these cars and want a clear picture on the running costs and how much maintenance and repairs cost, but also for people that already own these and they can compare how much their car has cost with how much I've spent on my car. But yeah, I hope this has been interesting, and thank you for watching.